All right. We're going to call her Cousin Q for now, here with us today. We're setting up her garden. And before we go get everything and get prepared, let's just get a general synopsis of her garden. All right. So if you could give maybe a brief preview or history of your current garden.
Oh, okay. All right. So we moved here in 2021. We have a nice, spacious background. We have over an acre of land, and we have some trees back with a creek. However, I did want to have a garden, but I didn't want a full commitment to it. So I said, what small area could I put this potentially, first time kindergarten type of garden? Kindergarten.
Very kindergarten.
Get it? So Chaz helped me scope it out, and we found a little corner over there by the fence. Not too big. We said we're going to start small, more so me. Chaz was like, look, you got all this. You can go all the way down there. I was like, nah, let's just start small, right? So it's probably about 8 feet long.
Maybe.
Right? 8 feet long and about 3 feet wide. Right? Started at small. So boom. 2022.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, 2022. Started the garden. This is when I only had 2 kids, by the way. Started the garden. I was stoked, excited. We had beans, tomatoes, cucumbers,
peppers,
herbs, right? And I even went brave and bought like a blueberry bush because we love blueberries. And so that year it was tough because I was a beginner. I was like FaceTiming her every day, like, what do I do? When should I do it? How should I water it? When should I water it? Ooh, there's bugs, there's ants, there's this, that, and the third. And then she had me out there with white powder looking like a Coke scene. So, so we did that. And then we did it next year, but I had the baby. I was pregnant doing it. And we all know how that ended up. Poor garden didn't survive. So I was pregnant in the summertime. And then I let it go. I'm not going to lie. I let the garden
2 years
go.
in a row.
2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. But this year, when we came back to it, right, it looked bad. Really bad. I mean,
look real bad.
We're just going to say real bad.
All right. So it looks real bad. And because of that, can you tell me what your expectations are for when we go to the store? What do you want to get? Do you want to be practical? Like, what is your... What do you want?
Good. I would say through my success and failures over the past 3 years, I was realistic about this, okay? Realistic, and my expectations were, let's be functional about the things you want, right? So I know that I want something where I'm happy to run to the garden, take care of it, but also the results of it, the fruit of my labor, the vegetable of my labor. So I knew that I wanted things that I'm going to use on a regular basis, things that I spend a lot of money on. So I definitely want cucumbers because I make smoothies every day and I buy cucumbers all the time, organic. Definitely I want peppers. I use it often for omelets. Definitely tomatoes is a huge staple, like a good basis of all my meals. And definitely some herbs because I want my food to pop.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go shopping. We're going to try to be economical and build her a little ecosystem here that hopefully she maintains this time. And we'll see how it goes. All right. So make sure you keep following us through this journey, and we'll be back with some more footage as to where we land this year.
All right.
We're out here early this morning in Pennsylvania. You see, it's beautiful. Nice big yard. Nice big yard. You do so much out here. This is the garden that we're gonna clean up today. Lots of stuff in there. Gotta open it out, clean it up. This is before. Ooh, lots of weeds. Lots and lots of weeds. Here we are in Home Depot. She's wheeling with her plants that she has picked out from the garden center in Home Depot, and all of the soil, and of course an umbrella. She had to get something extra. She gave us a wave. And then we went to look for marigolds. They were dead. D-E-A-D, capital letters. We're going to have to go somewhere else. And checking out, happy and sad at the same time, because gardening can be expensive if you have to start over from scratch every year. Lots of plants. And here we go, all loaded up and ready to go. We found marigolds at a neighboring Home Depot closer to the house. Now it's time to start. Sad garden. All right, we're back. Today we are in Pennsylvania. As I said earlier, we have my cousin's garden here. She let it grow really crazy. I started this garden about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So if we look over here, you'll see that it has overgrown tremendously. So we're going to open this up, clean it out today, refresh it with some soil, and then we will be ready to start planting in things that she wants for her practical garden this year. Here goes Q walking from the house with the plants that she's bringing. She's been going back and forth, bringing all the things that we purchased today. It's time to get started. She's helping out. And as you can see, we have enlisted some helpers to help us today. These are what we call the spouses. They're going in, trying to tell us what to do, clipping branches out of the tree, because it is going to block the sun some a little bit. He's using the edger to trim all the weeds from in front and on the sides. Then we go in and we pull out all the weeds. We use the hoe. There's a little running joke. Use your knees, using the wheelbarrow. Of course, there's a spiky bush that I don't really want to touch, but we just keep going. It's taking a little longer than expected, but I'm glad that we had a team to work and pull everything out. We have to pull the weeds out of the center block, out of the center of the garden itself. Doesn't look like it's that big, but when you're standing in front of it, it is very big. Here we've cleaned out all the weeds, but what we have to do here is essentially move the dirt around to make sure we don't have any seeds or roots. As you can see me pointing, I'm telling her that there's some extra weeds there. Get them from the roots to keep them from growing in. It's just a preventative measure. Evening everything out for when we do put the soil in. And I think at this point, we're all tired. From here, you'll start to see people having a little bit of fun, which we have fun when we're together anyway. So we're evening everything out, almost done, making jokes with each other, still picking a little bit of weeds out here and there from the root. Just some very stubborn weeds in her garden. So I asked her to give me the hoe because we got to get it out from the root. So then, of course, here are all the side conversations, and then in a little bit, you'll see how we're talking about how we're going to extend the garden. We're talking about the tree and what all she can do, where she wants to put things, where I want to put things. Overall, good time. And of course, these two, just for the cameras, are two peas in a pod. And here we go, Mr. Clown over here. But guess what? He did not know he was on camera. Ha! But he's not the only clown for this video. You're going to see a couple faces poke in here and there. And this just proves that gardening is therapy and you should also have fun doing it.
Hi everybody. So we just finished cleaning up all the weeds and everything. It took a lot of work and a lot of
Wait, Chris.
patience. As you can see, the hubsters are back there, right? Use some assistance. So first we used a hoe to pull up all the weeds, which were a lot, as you could probably see. Took a bit of time, and we all took turns carrying them, put them in the wheelbarrow. Then we also have a tree over at my neighbor's house that had a lot of branches hanging over. So we got the shears and cut a lot of branches. Again, the last bit, as you can see them debowing the barrel of branches um, over. Then also we had a lot of small little weeds in there, so we had to pull up a lot of dirt too with our gloves. Yep, but I like where we're at right now. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our garden soil. As you can see here. So we got 5 bags. We're hoping that this is enough, but if not, the plan is I go and get some more. So now the fellas are gonna put the bags over there and we're gonna get the soil on the ground.
What we chose to do was buy the garden soil from Home Depot. We use Black Cow garden soil. It should already have a good amount of natural materials within the soil to assist with plant health. I found that this particular brand has very good plant matter and has very little sticks to contend with in the garden, because for some garden soils you pour it out and there are a lot of different sticks and things that make it hard to dig through. So we start spreading through the soil and figuring out if we have enough soil for the garden itself. Now, in the meanwhile, we're spreading the soil and talking about it, and at the end of the day, we want it to look natural. And I don't think we need any additional soil for this particular garden. Look at there, funny girl, funny girl. And while I'm spreading the soil, they are all over there talking about power washing the house. I guess as a homeowner, you got to worry about your garden and your house. After adding all the soil in, we're now just putting our hands in to get all the clumps out. This will help with planting a little later. Hello. I'm back. So we have completely cleared out all of the weeds. We trimmed the trees. We have put in some garden soil to refresh the soil here. I even put in some fertilizer into the soil so that the plants have a good feeding to start off with. If you notice over here, you saw us at Home Depot earlier. Down here are all the plants and stuff we bought. We have marigolds here that we're going to plant in the cinder blocks down here. We're going to go every other. The reason why we plant marigolds is because it's going to keep the hornworms and hopefully some of the insects that come into your garden away. She has a variety of tomatoes, some peppers, basil, cucumbers, and zucchini to plant this year. She was really going practical garden, which was great. Things that she is actually going to eat and take care of with her faithy cakes. We're going to give it a little break for a little while because it is starting to drizzle out here, and clearly we don't want to get my device wet. But so far so good. It took us a bit, and as you can see, we did have some helpers this morning. My husband, her husband, they came out here because it did take a lot more strength than not than what we have, but it just was easier to do with a four-man team as opposed to a two-man team or a one-man team. A little bit later, when they come back, I had them buy some black cow manure, which we're going to top the soil with before we start planting. Like I said, to give the plants a chance to have a healthier start. Um, Hopefully, we can get this all done today. I can tell you, future plans for her garden is to extend it out this way and extend it out that way. And in her corner, all the way over here, the corner of the yard, I don't know. Okay, so there it is, all the way in back of me. We're eventually going to put an apple tree. So I did do a panoramic view of the yard earlier. You will see that she has plenty of space to do a lot of things with. And hopefully, her and her family can have great production out of this garden. Um, and I can't wait to see the end result for this season. I started this garden for her about maybe mm, 3 or 4 years ago. We tilled up the soil, we added the cinder blocks. We have a little small gate here, which I'm gonna try to refine before we leave this trip here. If not, we'll come back and do it. And here we go. This is Cousin Q's garden, is what I'm gonna call it. Maybe I'll even buy her a sign. You never know. But so far, so good. I'm glad that they came out and helped. Um, and here we go. Next stop, we will be putting in plants and making sure that we're done with this to set her up for a successful garden. All she'll really have to do is maintain it, trim it, prune it, weed it. You know, if not on a daily basis, come out a couple times a week just to make sure. And I know she can't wait for her harvest to come into play.